Everything about woman has a solution. It's called pregnancy. Friedrich Nietzsche. He did not whisper. Nietzsche never whispered. He carved his thoughts like lightning into the sky of human thought. He struck where the world preferred silence. When Nietzsche spoke of women, he did not speak as a man lost in romance, nor as a moralist or a flatterer. He spoke as a seeker of truths so raw they wounded the ego of his time, and still do. His words do not serve comfort. They serve transformation. To Nietzsche, woman was not merely a person, she was a force, a symbol, a mirror to man's illusions, and a spark for his deepest drives. He saw in her a paradox, a being capable of both elevating man and dragging him down into his most primal instincts. She was mystery and manipulation, creation and chaos. But most of all, she was power concealed in delicacy. Nietzsche said, "Everything in woman is a riddle." He wasn't being cruel, he was warning you. She is not the goal, she is the test. You live in a time where comfort is easy. Scrolling is easy. Validation is everywhere, and yet young men are more lost than ever. Why? Because you've forgotten the role of mystery in your growth. Nietzsche understood something. The feminine, whether in a woman, in desire, or in art, is not here to be owned. She's here to reveal you to yourself. Nietzsche's time was not ours. In the 19th century, the identity of women was entangled in religion, morality, and submission. But Nietzsche shattered the stained glass window of this illusion. He questioned the moral ideal of the eternal feminine and exposed how society had crafted the image of women not to empower them, but to tame them. He envisioned a new kind of woman, not the obedient wife, nor the moral caretaker, but the Überfrau, the overwoman. Not in the same breath as the Übermensch, but parallel in spirit, a woman unafraid of shedding the skin that society wrapped around her soul. Nietzsche did not want woman to become man. He wanted her to become herself. To the young men listening now, you must understand, Nietzsche is not a guide for misogyny. He is a hammer, meant to break the lies you've been told about love, about equality, about roles that have no roots in reality. He is not teaching you to look down on women, but to look deeper into yourself, to discover your own chaos before you attempt to dance with another's. He knew that what we call woman is not a fixed form. It is a battlefield of instincts, desires, projections, and myths. And man is not a master of this battlefield. He is a soldier, often unarmed, thrown into the storm. She shows you what you lack, what you crave, what you fear, and if you're not strong, she will break you. There's a reason weak men chase pleasure, and strong men chase purpose. The weak man sees a woman and thinks, "How do I get her?" The strong man sees a woman and asks, "What do I need to become for her to notice?" That's what Nietzsche meant when he wrote, "Man shall be trained for war, and woman for the recreation of the warrior. All else is folly." It's not about dominance, it's about direction. You don't build yourself for her. You build yourself because that's what men do. And if she's worthy, she will follow the fire. Arthur Schopenhauer, Nietzsche's philosophical predecessor, once declared, "Women are by nature meant to obey." Nietzsche borrowed the spirit but reshaped the message. For him, obedience was never the end. It was transformation through conflict. He saw woman not as a subordinate, but as a being of instinct and survival, whose power lay in concealment, in subtlety, in an art men barely understood. The modern world speaks often of equality, but Nietzsche asked, equality of what? Of outcomes, of energies, of desires. He knew that sameness is not justice, that true respect lies in understanding the difference, not erasing it. To you, young man, listen not to the surface of Nietzsche's words, but to the fire underneath. He is calling you to evolve, not through denial of the feminine, but through awakening the masculine, not through dominance, but through clarity. He is reminding you that woman is not an answer. She is a question. And to love her, you must first become the kind of man who can hold the mystery without falling apart. And in this, he echoes Carl Jung, who said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." The union of man and woman, in Nietzsche's eyes, was not sentimental. It was alchemical. It is not your job to tame a woman, nor is it her job to fix you. Your task is to become whole, and in doing so, to meet her not as a beggar of affection, but as a mirror of power. Nietzsche believed this is the only path where love becomes not a prison, but a path to the heights. He challenges you to abandon the shallow ideals of romance and equality as comfort blankets. He dares you to confront the chaos that love truly is, to see in woman not just beauty, but danger, not weakness, but will. In his shadowed, thunderous voice, Nietzsche whispers, "Become who you are." And in doing so, you will see woman not as a puzzle to solve, but as a flame, one that burns only those who come unprepared. Nietzsche's world was not built on harmony. It was carved from struggle, from tension between the known and the unknown, the masculine and the feminine, the self and the other. In the depths of his philosophy, we find no trace of the soft lullabies that modern culture feeds the heart. Instead, we hear the cry of a soul seeking truth at any cost. The true man wants two things, danger and play. For that reason he wants woman as the most dangerous plaything. These words are not for the faint-hearted. They are not for those who seek peace without pain or connection without cost. They are for those who sense that in the realm of love and gender, there is no safety, only initiation. Nietzsche's view of woman as danger and play is not a dismissal, but a challenge. For what is more dangerous than a being who can ignite desire, alter destiny, and unravel identity? What is more playful than the mystery of emotions, instincts, and dreams that lie beyond the reach of logic? Nietzsche, in this, reminds the young man, do not enter the temple of womanhood as a priest. Enter as a warrior, curious, grounded, and ready to be undone and remade. Through his writings, Nietzsche gave birth to a new archetype, a woman not defined by purity or piety, nor by her opposition to man, but by her own power to shape the world in quiet, invisible, and cunning ways. He admired this force, even feared it. He respected the feminine will, not because it imitated man's, but because it operated in shadows, with elegance and unpredictability. This is where his philosophy intersects with postmodern thought. Thinkers like Michel Foucault later echoed this dynamic in their critique of power. Foucault did not see power as something held, but something that flows through networks, relationships, gestures. In this sense, woman becomes not the oppressed, but the unseen wielder of influence. Power in silence, power in style, power in seduction. Nietzsche understood this before the vocabulary existed. And yet, in his fierce critiques, Nietzsche never reduces woman to an object. He reveals her as a force field, a dance of biology, culture, instinct, and myth. He once declared, "In revenge and in love, woman is more barbarous than man." Barbarous, yes. But this barbarism is not cruelty. It is raw honesty, the untamed energy of life itself. He calls upon men to stop idealizing women, to see them as they are, not as they wish them to be. In this, he removes the veil of romanticism and leaves behind the pure tension of polarity. He asks the modern man, can you love a being who doesn't exist to complete you, but to challenge you. In this crucible of relationship, Nietzsche is forging something ancient and eternal, a dance of fire and stone, man, the structure, woman, the flame, both necessary, both dangerous, both sacred, but only when each remains true to itself. He did not advocate submission nor superiority. He advocated truth, and truth, in the realm of gender, is uncomfortable. It is not found in equality charts or moral rules. It is found in the silence between words, in the glance that speaks of chaos, in the storm behind a kiss. This is why the young man must rise, not to dominate, but to become worthy, not to mimic strength, but to embody it, not to chase women, but to become the kind of presence that commands their respect. Nietzsche once warned, everything in woman is a riddle, and everything in woman has one solution. It is called pregnancy. Many took this as an insult, but he was speaking mythically. Pregnancy not as mere biology, but as the ultimate metaphor. Woman is the vessel of becoming. She does not seek to destroy, but to absorb, reshape, and give birth to ideas, to identities, to worlds. She is the ultimate artist. Therefore, to approach woman is to approach the infinite. She will not bend to your logic. She will not yield to your commands, but she will respond to your essence. If it is true, this is not manipulation. This is nature, and Nietzsche believed it was the highest test of manhood. You must become the kind of man who does not need to understand woman to love her. You must stop asking for guarantees and start offering strength. Not brutality, but presence. Not submission, but reverence. And here, Nietzsche aligns with ancient echoes. Heraclitus, long before Nietzsche, declared, "The harmony of the world is made by opposites held in tension, like the bow and the lyre." In the same way, Nietzsche saw the harmony of man and woman not in sameness, but in sacred difference. This sacred difference, though feared by modern minds, is the source of vitality. It is where energy is born. Masculinity does not need to erase femininity to shine. It needs to understand it. And femininity does not need to copy masculinity to rise. It needs to unfold. You must ask yourself, do I want a woman to complete me, or to challenge me? This is the mark of the higher man. Søren Kierkegaard once wrote, "The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. This is the torment of the weak man, forever dreaming of the woman he might possess, but never becoming the man who deserves her presence." Nietzsche demands more. He demands strength, not performance, authenticity, not tactics. He knew that modern man was becoming too tame, too polite, too civilized, and that in taming himself, he had lost the primal fire that makes love something worthy of reverence. That fire must be reignited. She, her mystery, her silence, her beauty, is the final test, and only the disciplined survive. So ask yourself this: will you build a life she wants to enter? Or will you chase her until you forget who you are? You want success, you want respect, you want power. Then don't beg for her attention. Earn it by becoming the man even she didn't know she was waiting for. She is not your path. She is the mirror that shows whether you're ready to walk it, so are you going to take the action?